Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the moon in the ninth house in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the moon placements in the houses. They were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, the moon in the ninth house is comparable to the moon in Sagittarius, but you do have to blend in, the zodiac sign with it. I mean, if you have, let's say, for example, the moon in Aquarius in the ninth house, well, that could be somebody that has this real strong emotional need for taking unusual, long journeys, long distance journeys. If the moon is in Gemini in the ninth house is another example. That need may be about taking long distance journeys, well, taking many manifold long distance journeys, a variety of them, as another example. Now, the moon in astrology is associated with our emotional needs. So having the moon in the ninth house, those emotional needs may be associated with expanding horizons, higher education, college studies, traveling abroad, being that perpetual learner, publishing, advertising, it could be learning something with the law. As another example, sports. If you have the moon, say, in Sagittarius in the ninth house, it may be sports that are, that may include darts, archery, something with horses, as some examples. Now, another thing, the moon in astrology, of course, is connected with our emotions. So when you have the moon in the ninth house, those emotions may take on a little Sagittarius flavoring. They may be very exuberant and enthusiastic. And the thing about this is you may express those emotions readily with in-laws, grandchildren, foreigners, and you may be more emotional in matters that are connected with abstract thinking, expanding horizons, matters pertaining to the law, religion, your higher education. If somebody, for example, that has this placement is getting mocked, as an example, for not having maybe the higher education that he or she should have had, the person may be more sensitive in those matters, more so than the average person. Now, the moon in astrology is also connected with our responses and reactions. So the moon in the ninth house may have a lot of, as far as their responses go, they may be tied in with the law. Person may be more responsive in matters pertaining to the law than the average person. Also, in global communications, it could also be, matters that are, pertaining to in-laws, to grandchildren, foreigners, sports-related matters. Even if this person is in, say, some kind of recreational league in their community, because I know most people aren't professional athletes, and the responses can be very, voracious, blunt, very direct. And the thing about this too, the moon in astrology is associated with our mother and family. So the moon posited in the ninth house may be, the mother and family, could be a family of philosophers or religious people, or these people may just be very philosophical, religious, or, expressing their beliefs on things. It could be, perpetual learners. These people also may be more instrumental in your own philosophy, your religion, more so than most people on average. And it's also, a thing too with this placement in astrology. The mother and family may be, very exuberant, enthusiastic, jocular. You may joke with these people a lot as well, but also be very, voracious, blunt, and forthright, at the same time. And it could also be that the mother and family may figure prominently also in matters that are pertaining to publishing and advertising as well. Now, the moon astrology is also connected with the public. So when you have the moon in the ninth house, well, you may be tied in with the public in matters, it could be with publishing, advertising, commercial work. It could be, doing something, with higher education or religion. It may be, as well. Maybe you're, an outdoor guide or travel agent that deals with the public continually. It could be where, the public also, it is such where, it may, if there's any, bad dealings with the public, it might affect, maybe where you live in some cases, in terms of a foreign country, in some isolated cases. And it could also be, having, displacement. Is that could also be involved in, working with the law in some cases and dealing with the public, of course, in the process. And now, the moon in the ninth house can also, manifest in a lot of, fluctuations in your beliefs, your philosophies, even religion in some cases. It could even be college studies, college endeavors, pursuits, subjects that you may study, as far as higher education um, may go. Now, also too, the moon astrology is connected with our unconscious side. So you may strongly express that unconscious side of you with people that, again, are in-laws, grandchildren, um, foreigners. When you go to foreign countries, when you travel abroad, it may, often, come out, with those people, and that unconscious side, may take on, some Sagittarius, flavoring, being in the ninth house and moon in the ninth house. It could be where, you may be, the unconscious side may be rather jocular and jovial, even sometimes reckless and foolhardy, but also, very blunt, voracious, um, somewhat philosophical, exuberant, optimistic, as some examples. And, your home at some point in time, may be in a foreign country, or your family or one or more family members may actually reside in a foreign country at some point in time, with displacement. So, now, another thing is the moon astrology is connected with our memories and often what we want to reminisce and reflect on. So, the moon posited in the ninth house, those memories may be tied in, to long distance journeys, exploration, foreign travel, things that made you jovial, made you, you had enthusiasm for sports related um, matters. If let's say again, if the moon is in Aquarius in the ninth house, it could be, those sports may have been ones that were unusual. I think underwater hockey may be an example, or chess boxing. May want to confirm that on the internet, but also memories may be tied in, with foreigners, your in-laws, your grandchildren. Those are things you may often reflect and reminisce on. And also matters with adventure, exploration. It could be situations with the law as well. Importing, exporting, higher education, and just being that perpetual learner, as some examples. And another thing too, moon in astrology is connected with nurturing and caring. So when you have the moon in the ninth house, you may really, strongly nurture and care for, your in-laws, your grandchildren, even foreigners in some cases. You may be someone, that, travels to foreign countries, to help those people, express benevolence toward those people that are in need, such as, third world, countries, that may be in an impoverished situation or lack, the resources that are necessary. It could be, as far as your college studies and higher education, that could be something that you strongly nurture and care for as well. Matters pertaining to publishing, advertising, Those are some examples in terms of what you may very strongly nurture and care for. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.